Hey folks, thanks for tuning in to What the Folk Is This here on WCSB 89.3 FM in Cleveland for the special co-host show. My co-host on today's show is an acoustic folk punk musician. He has performed locally and internationally as well, playing at some of my favorite places like the Foundry and 5 O'Clock Lounge in Lakewood and No Class in Cleveland. Touring internationally in Singapore and the Philippines. He promotes the folk music scene, organizing shows and constant promotion. Welcome, Jimmy from Sick City.
Hey, what's happening?
How is it going?
It's going great. It's a beautiful day. It is oddly cold considering the weather that we've had, but it is welcome. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, great. Okay, tell our listeners more information about you.
Yeah, so, I've been playing music in Cleveland for, since 2007. Actually, a little bit before that. 2005 is when I really got in. 2006 started actually performing out. And just been on and off, really, really into the punk scene here. It's been awesome. I've seen a lot of really great bands come over just the last, decade and a half. A lot of cool people, a lot of good ideas. And for the most part, it's just been like a really fun environment, but it feels like things have kind of trailed down a little bit. And, with Sick City, I've been performing a ton solo. I'm really enjoying it, having a lot of good times. And I'm finding a lot of artists who are doing a lot of similar things that don't have like a place or an audience. So I figured, let's see what we can do. Let's start building up a little scene here and just like being inclusive. Because we have an enormous diversity in Cleveland, and I think that what we've done so successfully is just allowed pretty much everybody. You don't have to fit the mold of when you think of folk punk. A lot of the time, people have a very different opinion of what that looks like.
They do.
And just really being inclusive and getting people in to play. So if you're passionate about music, I want to play with you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's great. Oh, okay. Who have what want to talk about next? Let's see. Let's play some of your music.
Can I play a song?
Definitely.
I have my guitar. So let's see. This is a really unique setup. I love this. So this is a song that was released a couple of months ago, but it was I wrote it a while ago, and it was really just about hitting a kind of a weird spot in my life where I quit my job, which was very different for me. I've always been you gotta work, you gotta do all this stuff, and eventually I was just I don't want to do this crap anymore. I want to do something different, and I just had the mentality that I was just tied down, and it was such a bummer. And at the same time, the train derailment in I call it East Palestine, Ohio happened, and it was just another disaster. So there's a point in time where there's just a whole bunch of disasters going on, and that's what this song is about. Well, I spent many years trying to understand the motivation tied to every single selfish act, and trying to see through this master plan, when every time I do, I find it always brings me back. But I derailed my train of thought, I think over a couple thousand times. Well, if you call yourself the little engine that could call me East Palestine, you might want to wait a couple months before you come around. You don't want to be a part of this breakdown. Man, these last few months have got me all messed up. I lived a life of certainty, and now I'm off the cuff. But that's the way we're living. At least for now, I'm giving all I can to discover what I really want in life. But I derailed my train of thought. I think over a couple thousand times. Well, if you call yourself the little engine that could call me East Palestine, you might want to wait a couple months before you come around. You don't want to be a part of this breakdown. You might think that it's a lie and that everything's alright, but not this time. We won't be coming home tonight.
That was really good.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I like that song, and I've seen that live many times.
A couple times.
Yeah.
I typically open with that one. It's just like it's not slow. It's just like it's gonna get you going a little bit.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So. I like hearing that.
Try it out.
So let's talk about your albums and your songs. What did you start? Or actually, how did you start playing?
How did I start playing?
Influences.
Like, how did I start with Sick City?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I played in a band in 2007. I started a band called the Plaid Disasters, like a punk rock band. And I played with he's still one of my best friends to this date, Davey, and his awesome wife, Emily Kilgore. They are in Cleveland. They play in tons of awesome music, including a band called Ataxia, which is more of like a hardcore punk band that I've been playing with a little bit, and it's been really fun getting back to play with them. So I started really playing and getting serious about music back then, but I loved acoustic, like punk rock stuff. I love ska, and I was a big Streetlight Manifesto fan, and they did a little offshoot called Bandits of the Acoustic Revolution, which the album, it's just like a small EP, and it's got so much energy, but it's all acoustic, and the way they record it was beautiful. I was like, I love that. Like, I can't play ska very well, but I'm gonna try like playing some stuff like that. And so I think in like 2009, 2010, I started playing music like that. My sister and I recorded an album that's very similar to the style that I play in, and it helped really bring a lot of what I'm playing now forward. And then Davey and I recorded some songs that were in that vein too. So it was always like something that I wanted to do, but it was music that I just played like when I was just screwing around. Like I have an acoustic guitar. It's easy to just be alone with an acoustic guitar because nobody wants to be around you when you have an acoustic guitar. So just playing some music, and then COVID happened, and I wasn't doing much, so I was writing a lot more of this. The Plaid Disasters got back together, as did a lot of bands, which was really cool to see like music kind of start to make a little bit of a resurgence. But then after a while, I just decided that I didn't really want to do the band thing right now, and I wanted to focus on some of the solo stuff. And yeah, I did. And I've just been wherever I can find shows, wherever I can find a place to play. That's the nice thing about an acoustic set. Like, I don't have a very heavy load. I could just carry this and go yell at people, and some people enjoy it, and some people call the police.
No, I think it's great. So, do you want to play another song?
Sure.
Or you want to do that?
Yeah, let's bust out the old kazoo.
Oh, good. Yes.
This is one of the first songs that I played. When I first started actually playing out, this was one of my first songs. And some people would be upset if I didn't play this. So this song is about my addiction to coffee, and I think it's just called Coffee. So let's see. I got to get my kazoo position needs to be optimal, or we're gonna all have a bad time. You ready for me?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. If I don't have my coffee in the morning, I'm a monster. I can't explain the way it takes away all of the stress of the 4 hours of sleep I got just 10 minutes ago. I don't know why I got this sickness, but the medicine is gold. I hold the mug like I'm holding for dear life, or on the edge of sanity, or like a killer with a knife. You might say that's a problem, and I don't disagree. So please don't try and take my coffee cup away from me. If I don't have my coffee in the morning, I'm a monster. I can't explain the way it takes away all of the stress of the 4 hours of sleep I got just 10 minutes ago. Don't know why I got this sickness, but the medicine is gold. I'm in the kitchen begging for a fix, piling on anxiety. I watch it each and every drip, and when it's finally ready, grab my cup and leave the house. Every single time I always burn the hell out of my mouth. If I don't have my coffee in the morning, I'm a monster. I can't explain the way it takes away all of the stress. The 4 hours of sleep I got just 10 minutes ago. Don't know why I got this sickness, but the medicine is gold. And I'll take the coffee black so it could emulate my soul. Lots of cream and sugar so that everybody knows that I'm at my weakest when I don't have you around. When I die, all that I ask is that you bury me in ground. If I don't have my coffee in the morning, I'm a monster. I can't explain the way it takes away all of the stress of the 4 hours of sleep I got just 10 minutes ago. Don't know why I got this sickness, but the medicine is gold.
Good.
Let's go.
Yeah, I played that on my show before. I played that song.
Let's go. Big ups.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I absolutely love to do this. Love to play music. Where did you, have you gone to shows? How did you meet up with the other musicians that you played with at shows?
Yeah, so originally I had reached out to my buddy Zach, who he plays in a band called the Shed Dwellers. He used to play in a folk punk band called the EPA Band, and he was handling all the booking for the folk punk shows at No Class. So, and I've known Emma for a long time. Emma's awesome. Shout out to Emma.
Yes,
Shout out
she
to
is.
No Class.
I love Emma. Yeah.
So I was talking to her about it, and she told me, she's like, hey, they're already doing these kind of shows. You should just reach out to Zach, and he'll get you on. So I reached out to him. He put me on a show, which was super cool of him. And then we were really starting to get things going. Like Sick City and EPA Band released a split, and then like 2 days later they broke up, which was kind of a bummer. But yeah. I remember Zach going like, yeah, man, like we're not going to do this anymore. So after a couple months, I reached out to Emma. I was like, hey, like I want to start doing this, because I had already met some good bands. I've known good bands. I know people who were already playing. So we have a nice enough base to start with. And so that's really just what we went into. It was just from that little bit. And obviously Zach's played music for a long time. He knows a ton of people. So it was, he definitely helped a ton initially, like set the foundation for all of that.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yes, definitely.
You monster.
And some other the bands that you play with, do you want to play some songs for them?
Yeah.
Talk about them?
Yeah, that would be great. So we could probably, let me load this up really quick. So the first song is by the Kinsman Squalz Disaster. It's my buddy Sam. He also plays in a band called Scumbag. They're a punk band out of Ashtabula. Super awesome dude. He's doing a lot of good things. He is releasing a new album here very soon. This is the title track off of the album called You Can't Shut the Door. It did originally show up on the split that he and I did earlier in the year. So it's cool to see like him as an artist. Like he's a good artist. He's a good performer, and it's just really cool to see like that progression, because like he's, in terms of how he plays, how he records, how he manages his voice, like it's awesome. I love playing with him. He's a cool dude.
Great. Okay, let's get that on right now. Here we go.
Reality's been falling away. You see, that's always scary. sick of trying daydreams. Everything around us is fake. It's artificially made. So where's the line in the sand? 'Cause we can't connect to ourselves or anything. It seems it's such a random melody. Mouth just in malice, screen word name. Do just the matches to the beats. Chaos to everything. Like a matching gasoline. We deserve it for arrogance, our ignorance, our selfishness. And that's something you don't know. Without the words you feel it so. The collective undersoul is dragging you in nice and slow. Now nation but the world. Wax and blindfold to the truth. That's status quo. When you let time so you think for you. Just our fate, the cycle starts right after the end. It's time for us humans, illusions are illusion, my friend. The clock ticking means nothing, made it up just like all the rest. Foundations crumbled to dust, guns doesn't mean anything. It's paper thin like integrity, and that's the joke between you and me. It's called false sense of security. So all the lies they hid this eyes, I'm looking out for changing sides. 'Cause I sure don't wanna die miserable for enterprise. And that's nothing you don't know. Without the words you feel it so. The collective undertow is dragging you in nice and slow. Now nation but the world. Where's the blindfold to the truth? That's the status quo. Wait, let time so you think for you.
Mamas and papas losing their babies, losing their faith in me. Mamas and papas think that I'm crazy, that's why they had to leave. Mamas and papas hear that I'm crying, tell me to just be quiet. Mamas and papas tell them I'm hurting, but they will never buy it. Mom, Dad, I'm sorry you're disappointed, but I can't apologize for who I am. You used to be so proud of me while everybody doubted me, but life just doesn't go to plan. No, life will never go to plan. Mamas and papas simply ignoring all the trauma they caused. Mamas and papas will pat their own backs, expecting our applause. Mamas and papas screaming and fighting while their children sleep. Mamas and papas losing each other, a promise they couldn't keep. Mothers and fathers losing their daughters, losing their sons as well. Mothers and fathers fail to realize we're not lost, just simply finding ourselves. Mamas and papas tend to forget that they were children too. Mamas and papas makes me wonder what their parents put them through. Mamas and papas say that they love us, but that's a funny way to show it. Mamas and papas, sometimes I miss them. Don't think that they'd ever know it.
That was a good song.
Yeah, they were
Tell
both
us about
rocking
it.
and rolling. Yeah, that last artist was Valentine Vandal. They're awesome. So I played with them a couple of times at some of our local shows. They're a trans folk musician and poet from Cleveland, Ohio. So after writing a bunch of poems for about 7 years, they officially released their debut album, Baby Teeth, back in February on Valentine's Day. The theme in their lyricism includes things like nostalgia, love, grief, friendship. Like, as you just heard from that song, like, it definitely hits you a little bit different, and it's good to, I'm happy that I got to bring that to everybody here today. You can hit them up on Instagram at valentine.vandal for info on shows, and they're on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that other fun stuff.
Socials.
Gotta love it.
Okay, let's see. Let's talk about, before we get into playing any more music, about your international tour. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we could talk about this for a while, but yeah, so I was fortunate enough to have performed in last year in November. I went to the Philippines and Singapore, and I got to perform 2 times in the Philippines on 2 different islands and once in Singapore. And it wasn't actually planned to be on tour at because that's a weird place to be on tour. I have one of my best friends in the whole world. He's like my brother. His name is Travis. I've known him since I was 4, so it's been a long time that I've known him because I'm 37. And he has been, I love this dude, but he's always been the kind of like nerdy, play video games, stay at home, work from home, all that stuff, kind of like me. And now that he's getting to be like, he's almost 40, and he's like, man, I'm almost 40. Like, I want a family. I want to settle down. I want to find that someone special. So he was doing the online dating, and he was woefully, he was failing hard. No offense to him. But like, and I try to get his back and like, make sure he's not getting messed with or scammed or anything like that. And he ends up meeting this girl in the Philippines, and my first inclination is, oh, the Philippines, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, this is clearly a scam. But after talking and after understanding more what's going on, this girl is not only very real, but she's a total sweetheart. And so he asked me after they had done, like, they've been online dating for a while, and he asked me, he's like, hey man, like, I want to take the next step. I want to get out there. I want to meet her. I want to meet her family. I want to see if this is, something that we should be pursuing, but I don't want to go alone. If I buy your ticket, will you come with me to the Philippines? Like, yes, I will come with you to the Philippines. And as soon as we started planning that, we planned it for about 6 months. And in that time, I was just messaging bands because I was like, if I'm going to be there, like, what the heck? Like, that sounds like right. Like, why not? Like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So it was really slow at first, like trying to get a hold of people because things are a little bit different down there. But eventually, I did link up with a few awesome people who were able to. They booked me for a show in Manila, which is one of the biggest cities in the Philippines. It was incredible. So I got to go and play and meet a bunch of artists, and I got to play just in the Philippines, which was sweet. And then near the end of my trip, I got to also play in a town called Cebu, which we'll get to in a tiny bit because there's a song that I want to play, that talks about that. But in between, I have a really, really close family friend. His name is David, and when I was a child, he moved to the United States from Singapore, and he lived with my father because he came here to work. It was right when my parents were getting divorced. And this guy came to America, in the 90s. He's working, trying to do everything he can to, build a life here. But he was living in his car, and it was kind of, it was like the winter time. It's like Singapore is always 80 to 105 degrees. And he's here in this, the first time he's ever seen snow. So my dad's like, yo, man, you're going to come live with me. We'll kick it. We'll have fun. And this man came, he's an uncle to me. He's absolutely family. And, but one of the things about Singapore is you have to do mandatory military duty in Singapore. Everybody, and he didn't want to. He didn't want to do that. So he thought he would just hang in the United States, which is what we all wanted. We loved him. This man was family to us as far as everyone was concerned. And he ended up getting taken and put back, and Singapore is really strict about how they do that stuff. So he was put into prison for 7 years, and we thought he had died. We had heard that he had passed away in 2007, and I got a Facebook message in 2013 from someone that had his name, and I'm like, don't mess with me, man. So you call me right now. And he calls me, and he's got a very, very thick accent. So the second he said, hey man, it was like, this is so awesome. So
nice.
I was like, yo, I'm going to be in the Philippines. A plane ticket from Cleveland, Ohio to Singapore is $2,500. I bought a plane ticket from the Philippines, Manila, to Singapore. It cost me $128. So I was like, dude, I'm coming to see, I wasn't planning on doing this, but I'm coming to see you, and we're going to hang out. And he's like, hey, that's fine, but I do have to work this night. So I was like, all right, cool. So I just reached out to bands, and I was like, hey, I'm going to be out there. I just play acoustic. I'm looking for a show. I know this is super short notice, and the guys out there were super, super awesome. They set up a really quick impromptu acoustic show, and it was a rager. It was so fun. It was in I remember driving out there, and one of the people I was traveling with is like, who is this person that set up the show? I was like, dude, I have no idea. I have no clue. I've never met this guy whatsoever. He's like, because we're in the red light district, and it's it's kind of shady here. I was like, dude, it's Singapore. This is the safest place ever. So he's like, yeah, but it's just this is, if shady stuff is going to happen, this is where it's going to happen. I was like, all right, that's fair. We'll be fine. And the show was in this abandoned building in its basement. We had to go down this dead escalator, and it was in this far back room where they had they do band practice there, and we packed that room. There's just kids going crazy. It was so fun. It was really wild. It was a fun time. So that was definitely a highlight, to be able to see my friend that I haven't seen. He's getting up there in age. I think he's 2 years younger than my father. So my dad's old as hell. So and then when we came back, the last show was in Cebu, which is an island. It's a more southern island, and that's where my buddy's fiance, her name is Jessa. That's kind of the island where she's from. And it was so cool getting to go out there and go through the forests. We went through to a park where we got to just swim under this giant waterfall. The nature was absolutely gorgeous. You see so much cool stuff. The people were great. It's wildly different though, going from Singapore to the Philippines. Singapore being one of the richest countries in the world, and Philippines being a third world country. But it doesn't. The thing that I really, really took back from it, especially when I was in Cebu, was just the unity that these kids had in their punk rock scene. It was so tight. Everybody was singing to everybody's music. We played, and there was 8 bands that played, and it seemed like every person knew everyone else's music, and they were going.
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, it's just this sweet little microcosm. I love it. So that's where the Cebu hardcore scene, a song I recorded and put up recently. So when we can play that, that's
okay. You want to?
Yeah, I'd love to go into that one. And that's what this song is about. Is pretty much my last few days in the Philippines, and just the experience I had with with this awesome group of folks. Shout out to Issa and Kristen.
Get that on now.
I'm trying to find the words that best articulate in ways we can relate to. I'm hoping this won't be the last it's time that we share a stage out here in Cebu. Well, I saw unity and friendship, and bonds to never die. I saw passion transcend language when I looked you in the eye. And I'll do everything I can to bring that love home this time. So salamat, I'll see you again. To all my friends in the Cebu hardcore scene. I find myself on the outside looking out, 'cause every person I pass by is a brand new song to sing about. The triumphs and the laughter and the hardships and the pain. When you scream it in my face, I think that it makes life worth living. And Esau and Kristen, I wanna thank you. I was a stranger in your world, I don't deserve the hospitality that came through. So salamat, I'll see you again. To all my friends in the Cebu hardcore scene. So salamat, I'll see you again. Salamat, I'll see you again. To all my friends in the Cebu hardcore scene.
And that was so good.
Thank you. Yeah, that song, I remember writing that song. So when I got off the plane from Singapore to when I was coming back to the Philippines, because we went to the Philippines, stayed there a couple days. Travis and Jessa went on a little couples retreat, and I went to Singapore. When I came back, I sat next to this dude that was just like, he was almost dying. He was just like coughing and sneezing and just, it was bad. I was like, I'm definitely going to catch whatever this gentleman has. And I did. It was rough. So there were a couple days where I was just locked in my room after I played the show in Cebu, and that's where I wrote that song pretty much because there was like a whole 24-hour period where I did not want to get out of my bed. I was just in this garbage hotel in the Philippines somewhere, and just I went and I didn't bring my guitar because it was expensive to bring. It was actually cheaper for me to buy a guitar while I was out there. So I did like so
you bought one when you got there.
Yeah, when we first got to Manila, the second day we went out and I bought a guitar, and everything is super, super inexpensive in the Philippines, which is cool. I went for 2 weeks and I brought like $500 and I came back with money, which is sweet,
nice.
Which is good because I need money, lots more money. So yeah, I ended up just buying a guitar while I was out there. And one of the things I did that I'm glad I did is every show that I played, I asked every performer, pretty much everyone who was there, to sign my guitar.
Oh.
So now I've got this sweet guitar at my house, just covered in signatures and funny and or mean things, which is totally cool.
Oh, so you want to play another song?
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of wanted to play this song because I know that he has no chance of actually being. So I'm just setting him up. I have a friend. His name is Braxton, and I've worked with Braxton. I don't work with him anymore. I miss hanging out with him. I miss working with him. But he used to, we used to talk all the time when I was more like playing like punk bands and stuff like that. And he always used to say, dude, like, cool, like, I'll be there. I'll go to the show. I haven't been to a show in a while. Like, I want to be there. I'm definitely going to be there. What time do you go on? It's like, sweet, I'll be there before that. It's awesome, cool. And I get hyped, right? Because it's like, you always get excited when your friends come and see you play, right? Yeah. And this dude never comes out to the show. Never. He's come out like maybe once. Maybe, and he didn't even stay the whole time. So, like, I can't say the things that I want to say on the radio. However, Braxton, I love you, but dude, just come out to a show, man. Seriously. Well, I've known this mother for a good portion of my life, and every time we get to talking like we did on most nights when you're coming back from work, you said I feel like such a jerk. Well, I know that I missed a show, it really skipped my mind. I worked a double in the field and I was just too tired to drive, but I'm feeling good this time. I promise that I will make it out tonight. Yeah, right. Well, don't you know that Braxton never comes out to the shows? He tells me that he's gonna be there. When he doesn't, I guess that's the way it goes. He's got so many better things to do, like posting on Reddit or pissing off his neighbors. Braxton never comes out to the shows. He hopes I never call him out like this, but there's a chance he'll never know. He feed me all these bull lines. If you call yourself a socialist, could you please share some of your time? I think I let it go if it was just a couple times. We're in double digits and I'm finding it so hard, but still I try to believe one day he won't let me down. And I know it's hard being an introvert, trying to get anywhere when everyone around you makes you feel so self-aware, especially all the people listening now. Might be the reason that Braxton never comes out to the shows. He tells me that he's gonna be there. When he doesn't, I guess that's the way it goes. He's got so many better things to do, like posting on Reddit or pissing off his neighbors. Braxton never comes out to the shows. He hopes I never call him out like this, but there's a chance he'll never know. He'd feed me all these bull lines. If you call yourself a socialist, could you please share some of your time? Yeah, right. Well, if you call yourself a socialist, could you please share some of your time?
I hope he comes to a show.
I do too. I miss the guy. I really do. Braxton, I miss you. If you're hearing this, please come to the show.
I hope he is.
Please come to the show. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. It's fun. It's been kind of a staple. And it's as long as he's not coming, like I'm still playing. That's fine. But it's actually a good segue to another song that we have, if that's cool.
Yeah.
So I was talking about my time with the Plaid Disasters and my buddy Davey Kilgore, who he's a great musician in his own right. He's done a lot of really cool stuff, and like I said, with his band Ataxia, doing a ton of like awesome music. The quality of audio that they have like is so good, and they're just really well put together. And it's been I actually got to play with them a couple of weeks ago, and that's been fun too, because you know it's just been me by myself. I do miss the dynamic of just like having a band, and when you have a lot of energy, you can just like go crazy.
Yeah.
But the problem was like I've gone a whole like almost 2 years without going crazy, and I just realized how out of shape I am. Like these guys are going absolutely nuts, and I'm trying to match that, and like after a song it's like, oh, hold on, like let me get a drink.
Need a break.
I'm a big dude, let me catch my breath. Like this is please. But Davey also has a little side project called Davey and the Loose Screws, which he started, it feels like 10 years ago, when he started really picking up the banjo and playing. And this is almost like a country-ish song. But I think it slaps, and it's just about some of the things that we see with shows. Like one of my biggest pet peeves, like if I'm at a show, and you don't have to do this, but if I'm at a show, I'm going to do my best to watch every performance that's out there. Like I'm going to try to be front row, because like most of the time I'm booking these shows, so like I want you to see that like I take you seriously as an artist. And you know, but sometimes you don't get that same, like when you're touring and when you're heading out, like you could be playing and like half the people are outside on their phones smoking cigarettes or not paying attention.
Yeah.
And part of that is like I've had that, and I know when there's times like I'm, you know, like this isn't necessarily the scene that I'd normally be playing to, so I get that these folks aren't like that about this. But at the same time too, I think the thing that we do really well at the Folk Around and Find Out shows is like we understand, and everybody understands, that the artists that are here are doing it because they're passionate about music, and we're all here in a safe space to have fun. So like even if like even if it's a totally new artist, even if they're playing something totally different, like you're still going to get the same level of support.
Yes.
And I think you've been to plenty of those shows, and I think you see that.
Oh, definitely see that support.
So that's probably the most important thing to me. Like I don't care if if it's the right genre or whatever. Like if you're passionate about music and it kind of fits in this vein, and you can be a supportive person in this music scene, then you're welcome.
I definitely see all that support, and and definitely I like when I hear people play that what's personal to them, or what they're thinking about, what means something important to them to tell the world, the audience. I absolutely love that.
Boom.
So I look forward to all the shows where they'll poke around and find out. It's my week. I was like, I'm gonna go to that show. It's gonna be great because I really love that community, and I really love how everybody takes care of each other.
Very cool.
Yeah. So what do you want to play? Let's see.
So it should be
Davey and Loose Screws.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Let's get it.
Well, it's nights like these I feel like a failure, screaming my heart out to an empty room. It's Tuesday night at 11:30, and nobody came to our show. So I'm screaming in a dive bar all alone. All my friends that said they'd come up never show. Bartender smoking outside, the door guy's on his phone. Yeah, it's a dead punk show. Well, you could say that I'm the piano man tonight, but this microphone smells like puke more than a beer. Hey! And no one's yelling out songs for me to sing. They just want me to play my tango. So I'm screaming in a dive bar all alone. Just me and my band, we're gonna break up on the way home. The way home. Put flyers all around this town, but nobody came around. It's all dead punk show. Oh, no. Bartender rolled her eyes and sighed when I said we've got a couple more tonight. A couple more tonight. Struck the first chord and my amp died. Let's just cut it short tonight. Alright. Stop screaming in a dive bar all alone. All my friends that said they'd come up never show. Never show. The PA cut out and said somebody spilled beer on the merch again. It's on dead punk show. Alright, I said it's on dead punk show. we sold our rights to the highest bidders, put them on a stage as the tallest quitters. You're not enough, not enough. He took a deep breath and he looked me in the eye, said, we're all just ugly inside. You can't deny, you reach out for embrace in the manliest of ways. You offered up a handshake, but it's spirit in your face. You're digging all the graves with the choices that you made, while you live on forever with the fortune that you take. In the front yards of the dreams will never run, they all lay vacant and alone. They got us working to the bone, just so we can rent their homes. So we sold our rights to the highest bidders, put them on a stage just to call us quitters. You're not enough, not enough. He took a deep breath and he looked me in the eye, said, we're all just ugly inside. You can't deny, you looked us in the face. And you were well rehearsed when you said this was a word. You said 4 more years and the plan will work. In the front yards of the dreams will never run, they all lay vacant and alone. They got us working to the bone, just so we can rent their home. Inside the suburbs, $1,000 in a real bad part of town. In a place where even all the step kids won't come around. So we sold our rights to the highest bidders, put them on a stage just to call us quitters. You're not enough, not enough. He took a deep breath and he looked me in the eye, said, we're all just ugly inside. You can't deny.
Okay, let's talk about that song.
Yeah. Bonus song that we just threw in there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that song is called "Ugly Inside." It's kind of a demo recording that I did recently, and I've played it out a couple of times. I really like the way the song plays. I recently picked up a tenor banjo. I've had a couple of failed attempts at learning banjo, but the tenor banjo is nice because it's tuned like a mandolin, and I know how to do that. But mandolin is too small for my weird sausage hands, so I can't do that. So we pick up that banjo. So that was kind of like I started messing around with it, and that's what I came up with. And I want to start incorporating more of that like sound in there. Recently, I got that banjo, and I also picked up an Irish bouzouki, which is, if I had to explain to someone, it's like if a mandolin like took steroids and it was like the size of a full-size guitar. That's what an Irish bouzouki, and it sounds gorgeous. So I've got that starting to work into some of my recordings. But I just got so many. Like I'll sit down at my desk and I'll play my guitar and I'll slowly just knock out a whole bunch of songs. Like I'll work on pieces here and there. But the problem that I have now is I've got like 30 songs that all need to be recorded, and I have no motivation to do it. It sucks. But this song was just like playing in my head for so long. I was like, you know what? Like let's record it and let's start putting it out there. So I'm just demoing it and playing it out live just to see what I like before I do like a full-on final recording. My last few releases have either been singles on like streaming platforms or they've been splits. I really like the idea of doing splits. It's a good way to collaborate with artists. It's a good way to get more content out there. It's a good way for us to elevate other people, right? So like I'm not a big band, but I think that people come to our shows, and like I've started recognizing a lot of faces, and if I can get a new artist up there just by saying, hey, like let's just put out some music together. I've got plenty of it. Like let's do it. Let's have fun, because that stuff is fun. It's cool. Collaboration is cool, and especially in like, you know, we saw a lot of that. I feel like in like I grew up in, you know, like my music taste developed, I guess, in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, and there were a lot of good like punk rock like splits and collaborations and a lot of bands doing stuff together like that. So it's a little nostalgic for me, but I think it makes sense for any good healthy music scene to do anything, you know, stuff like that. Like no gatekeeping.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of stuff to work on. I have a lot more to do, but that's really my main motivation is, if there's someone who wants to collaborate with me, I'll do that. And then I've got plenty of material for other full lengths and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh, and other ideas. You can come on the show again.
Yo, let's go. I made it this far and I got an invite back. Let's get it.
So much fun doing this. And you know what? How about we bring up other bands up here?
Hey, that would be all. If you're cool with that, I've got a ton of people who would love to come up here and because the cool thing about the acoustic stuff is really there's a mic here and a mic here. You guys listening can't see it, but it's nice. I can just sit down and play. And if we could ever have a couple people up here to give them a little shout out, that would be killer.
Yes. Yeah, we should. Yeah, definitely. We're going to do that.
You absolutely.
If you're in for it. Yes. Yeah, and we can call it, what the folk around and find out is this. How's that?
We'll come up with something sweet.
We'll come up with the name. Yeah, definitely. So we'll do that, and we'll, create some really good stuff for everyone to hear. And can't wait to go to more shows, see all this these bands you're putting together, and there's musicians and this DIY, raw folk punk thing is really, really cool.
Thank you. We've got a lot of shows going on, and I think it's important. So, for anyone who's interested in just coming out to the shows, we do a ton of stuff at No Class. We do a ton of stuff at the Foundry. The Foundry, we have a little bit more permanent residents in there. We've got every third Thursday going to the end of the year and hoping we pick it up going into 2025. We do the Folk Around and Find Out series. And then the cool thing about Emma is she will, anytime there are artists that are kind of in that vein of music, she'll always shoot me a message. She's awesome.
Good, yeah.
She's so awesome. She's like, hey, these guys want to play this date. Do you want to get I have this available, I have this available, I have this available. Can you? And, she helps empower me to, to help and build that stuff out. And I know she's busy as all heck. I've seen what her inbox looks like and her Facebook DMs. It's so many people trying to play. And it's good to see because, she's put in a ton of hard work to make that venue really, really awesome. And it's an incredible space that does more than music. It is turning into a community hub. And yes,
I appreciate her so much for all her effort she puts into that.
The hell out of that. So, every third Thursday at the Foundry is pretty much a guaranteed. You can come in if you haven't been to the Foundry before. It's a great place in Lakewood. Ray, who owns the place, she's awesome. She does a ton of great stuff there too. Hosts a ton of awesome bands.
Yes,
their food is amazing.
Oh, yeah, I had some last time. I was like, I gotta do this every time I go.
I have never been disappointed with the food selection there. They have a ton of awesome options, ton of good vegetarian and vegan options too for folks who don't want to or can't eat meat. But tons of good shows. We're playing. So we're going to be doing that obviously every third Thursday, so that's an easy one to look forward to. Playing a show at Coda, which is kind of I got booked on that show a while ago, and then I think you guys were there when Matt Pless was in. So Matt Pless hit me up,
great.
And they were like, hey, can we get a date booked on, I think it was the 26th or 25th or something like that. And that was the same day that I was doing that show. So fortunately, the band that was touring is also playing with Matt Pless in Baltimore later, and they're like, yo, absolutely get him on the show. So I'm going to be playing more abbreviated set so that there's plenty of room, which I personally like a more abbreviated set. I don't like playing 45 minutes. It's I'm too old and tired, and by the time it's and if you really want to hear 45 minutes of some dude with an acoustic guitar yelling at you, there's probably something wrong with you, but you might be the only person in that whole room that feels that way. So I'll go with the cool 15 to 20, 25 minute set, and I think that's typically good enough. And I'm playing out enough towards if you still aren't sick of me, then okay. Well, fortunately for you, there's some more soon.
And where can people find you?
So I'm working on getting more stuff up on your Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff. There is some music up there. Bandcamp, you can find me there. Most of my social media postings are on Instagram, which should be 6 City CLE, I think. Yeah, Sick City CLE, at Sick City CLE. I do have Facebook, but I don't really like use it too much. I want one social media.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do a whole bunch of, though now I'm recording videos here because we have some sweet audio, and it's like, well, should I put this up on YouTube or TikTok?
Yeah.
I don't know. But, so we'll see. I don't want to have to manage a whole bunch of garbage because that's just not fun. I'd just as I guess I'd rather just show up somewhere and play and then be a surprise.
So you want to take us out with a song?
Yeah, sure.
Great.
That
and you've
would be
been
awesome.
listening to What the Folk Is This? Here on WCSB Cleveland.
All right, let's go. Yeah, this is the last song. This is a sad song to me. Get my kazoo in order. All right, let's go.
You can piss away the best years of your life. Promise me you'll try to check in every once in a while. When snow starts falling down around the town that we grew up around. To think about that time before you said don't call me anymore. I tried to tell myself it was okay, but we all knew that it'd never be the same. Really thought you'd find the help you need, and then you come back around. Thought some time away would do you good and give you time to calm down. Now the only time I see your face is in a mugshot from the county jail. The wanted signs hung on my wall that time you fled the scene. Well, you can piss away the best years of your life, but promise me you'll try to check in every